Welcome back to another episode of JLC TV with a Wednesday instalment, and of course we know what that means. It's Operation Wednesday with me, Jack Walsh,
and me, Luke Murray,
the operations director, head of this operation here at JLC, the HQ, nonetheless, where we do, and I like this bit, do the lion's share of the business. Although actually, European,
they're catching.
They are.
They're catching up.
They are. We got to be doing something different. But in the interim, let's find out. Let's find out what it takes to run such an operation from an opposite operations point of view, because we know what it's like with the sales, we know what we're all about, but sometimes the operation gets overlooked, and that's why you're here and we like to talk about it. But we've got some questions we're going to fire at you, just because we wanted to get a little bit of authenticity, just try and find out a little bit of real life experiences that you've come across, and we've got some questions for you here that you may or may not have.
Fire away.
Okay, all right. So, obviously we get, I think you've explained this before as well, and let's let this conversation just not, rather than it be like, oh, it's five questions, let's just have a little bit of tennis back and forth.
Okay.
A conversational dance, as it were. So you've told me on numerous occasions, and I know this from speaking with people in sort of leadership roles as well, one of the main issues is, or not issues, but the most challenging part of the role is dealing with people. So one of these, for example, how would you deal with somebody in the workplace that was aggressive, or if they were showing signs of aggression, making other staff uncomfortable, either through verbal or physical? How would you deal with that? Because that's a tough one.
So I think first of all, with people like that some people can get disgruntled with work situations. I think it's always the first port of call is to sit the person down one-to-one and find out what the issue is. So if it's a work-related issue, is it frustration at the job they're doing? Is it a frustration at somebody else? And get to the root cause of what their actual problem is. We've had situations before where, say, people might have something stressful going on outside of work or something negative, and then they bring the negativity in. So when it's in that situation, you literally can't influence it. You can try and make the work situation as good for them as possible, but we've had people, or I've dealt with people in the past where they have been really aggressive. I've sat them down and said, right, what can we do for you on the work front to obviously make you happy at work, make you motivated at work, and then you kind of give that person that what they're after, and then it's still not good enough, and they're still really negative, slating the company and stuff. And unfortunately, there's only one answer. When you've got people like that and they're not willing to change, then they're not right for the business.
So you invite them to leave? You
invite them to leave, yeah. And then eventually if somebody is really bad, then obviously you can manage somebody out of the business.
Right, okay.
Worst case scenario, not nice to do, but...
Not nice to do.
But it's for...
There's a threshold there. Is there a threshold though? You say, oh, you've got things that are going on outside, which we all do. Obviously, we've got a life outside of work. At what point does it become too toxic, or is there a threshold for you that's no, got to get them out of the business?
I think when it starts spreading to other people, and it actually starts to affect the actual work, the effect of work, and if other people are starting to become unhappy, I think that for me is when it's you really need to act. And it's quite difficult because the easy option is just to let it go and say there's multiple departments here where, say, if somebody's toxic in a department, they can just, I don't sit next to them, but the worst thing to do, I'm the leader of the operation, I'm the one that needs to have the tough conversation, I'm the one that needs to fix it and manage that situation. So yeah, it's tough, but you have to just approach the situation head on, and obviously give them the chance to resolve it, but if not, you're the one that has to kind of correct that for the greater good of the team. The team harmony is the most important thing.
Yes, absolutely, that's the one that needs to be protected.
Yeah.
I've seen it before where I've seen people that have been on the brink of dismissal, or they've been fully disgruntled, and I think, like you say, I guess if you treat them with empathy, you sit them down and look, do you like it here? Do you want to be here? I find that question so powerful, because you actually ask them, do you want to be at this business? Do you want to continue working here? Because your actions are showing otherwise.
Yeah.
So, and that question is either a definitive yes, okay, great, how can we work towards it? Or no, which makes your job super easy then.
Yeah, that's it. And a lot of the time, I said, hopefully it can be resolved. A person, say, they might feel undervalued, they might be doing loads of work, they might not be getting recognition, and they might have some genuine points. And I said, if people come and the points are like there, and I can be like, right, okay, like what can I do with your team leader, with your manager, to obviously then get them to say progress, to be more to be more valued, and sometimes like it can be resolved, and a lot of people are very sort of fair, and obviously it's a two-way street, and you can resolve it. But I said, when you get people that sometimes bring things in and they're just generally negative people, like sometimes you can't do anything for them. You can help them and give them X, Y, and Z, but it's still not enough. And then once you've done that for multiple times, your patience wears thin, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, let's go on to the next one. Okay. Right then, have you ever had an idea that everyone thought was crazy, but it really worked?
I would say an example from JLC is when we first did the stock take in 2022, and I said we need to put a stock location system in here. And I spoke to a couple of people, and they said, you won't do it, we tried before. There's the turnover of products is too quick, it's too many, we're getting too many new products in, we don't have enough space, etc., to get locations on the products. And I was kind of like laughed at a little bit, and I was like, no, we need this, because we can't just have people continuing to just pick from memory here. Like this is like a basic of any warehouse. You need a stock location system. So yeah, I think a few people thought I was pretty crazy when I suggested that. But then once you actually just start to see progress with it, that takes months and months to like get it through. And I think any crazy idea, if you can start to show progress and that it's making people's jobs easier, you then start to get buy-in from those people, and before you know it, yeah, you put the process in.
It must be so difficult, certainly when there's nothing to benchmark against in terms of the current business setup.
Yeah.
It's completely on you to not only implement, but to prove implementation has been met positively. And you see it all the time, like, you think people, like, I always say that people, like, no one really knows what they're talking about. I always say that. No one really knows. There's just others that have been doing it a lot longer, and they just think that they know what they talk about because they've done it for a lot longer.
Yeah.
So like, I just think that I think that might apply to this, but yeah, it's true, I think, to an extent.
Yeah. And it was such a mammoth task, because we've got like 4,000 products to do. And the start of it was horrible. Our very own Kelly she was one of the few people that knew where everything was, so she was one of the key people that had to go around and say where it was. So we put the stickers on all the shelves, put locations on, and then afterwards Kelly would then go look at where the product is, and then write on the sheet where the location is, and then we would input onto the computer. So there was so much legwork at the start to go around every single product, right, that's in that location, and then upload it all to the computer. And then now when we pick the items, obviously that's already updated. So that was a huge piece of work that we were working on for months and months to get that right. And we're still refining it now. We get like 40 new products in like every few weeks. I think is our current rate. Every couple of weeks get 40 new products. So they need a new location. It's a thing that never stops. So when we even did it, it's not about, right, let's congratulate ourselves, we've done it now. We get new products in all the time. We're getting rid of slow moving items. So the stock location system is constantly changing. It's a big project, and it's never going to go away.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was probably the idea that was probably I was laughed at a little bit.
But look where we are now. Look at us here still. I always look at it like we're like a beehive, you know, like we've just got so many departments all working like together for one purpose, you know, to benefit the colony.
Yeah, that's it. And at the time, it's I hate this saying.
I know what you say.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. I can't stand that saying.
Yeah. Do you know what? I actually like what you said there, because I use that saying a lot, and what you said then actually completely, what you said previously as well. You've that's happened. I mean, you know, what can we expect? You know, and
it did work. Like at that moment, people picking from memory in the warehouse when we were doing 110, 120 orders a day, it did work. There was obviously a lot of things that could be found. It slowed up the picking rate. But now we do 180, 190 orders a day, and we wouldn't be able to do that from memory, because now everyone can pick, and before we had 3 people that knew where it was. So before you know it, that's actually helped us to kind of do these numbers, and we'll need to level up again when we start doing 250 orders a day, 300 orders a day. So there might be another crazy idea, probably be tech, so it won't be that crazy, but yeah, that'll be the next one.
It's that funding of the tech that's going to be that tricky conversation, isn't it?
That's always the way, always the way.
Good. All right. Okay, let's go on to the next one. What's your secret to keeping employees happy, besides just paying them?
Well, you have to ask them.
Is that
I think personally it depends on the employee. What we try and do here is, no, that's not one.
Yeah. Is it not?
No, that was deliberately put there.
Got it.
Yeah, so you've put me off now.
Sorry.
So it depends on the employee. So with all the multiple areas we've got, the main thing is, I think if you're employed at any level, you want to be interested in your job and you want to keep sort of focused. So a lot of the time, this isn't for everybody, but a lot of the time people want variety in their role.
Mm-hmm.
They just be doing the same thing the whole time, like whether it's like data entry, whether it's just like say packing. People like to kind of keep a variation because it means it's less boring. That's a generalisation. Another reason as well, which is we try and keep people happy by giving them different jobs, is if you can give people like accountability for different tasks and give them ownership, then they feel more a sense of pride once they've like achieved a result in that. So what we try and do is we give people certain areas of the operation to like champion and look after, and then obviously if they do well, then they're the ones that get the shout out. It's not the managers or myself that take the credit for that. It's the guys who actually get the results in those areas, and then that in turn gives people a boost and motivates people. So that's for the majority. There are some people that like to just come in and said do the basics. Some people like say just doing one job the whole day, and that's completely fair enough. Everyone's different, so those people are happy doing that. But in general, we like to give both options. If you want to do one thing, you can. But if you want to learn and progress yourself and feel like you're actually moving forwards, then we can give you a variety of roles, and we can give you, say, something to look after. And the high achievers we have within the operation, they're the ones who champion and they take things and they improve it. And eventually that ultimately leads to promotions, really. If you can take accountability for a certain area, for me in the operation, and take it from this level here up to there with minimal support, then ultimately that's what I look for.
Yeah. And I guess as well, you have to determine what each person is looking for, and I guess it requires a certain level of emotional intelligence from you or maybe some others. How do you go about finding what makes them what drives them?
Well, I think just having conversations, mainly with like my team leaders and managers, because at the end of the day, like I'm sitting in the finance office, and I have like meetings with the teams, but the team leaders and managers are the ones that are with the guys literally like the whole day. So a lot of the time I'll ask for feedback from, I say, like Becky in product about how people are doing, Kat in logistics, and obviously Arlene in the warehouse. So they're more of a judge, and we'll work together with the team leaders and managers to say, right, give them this, how have they reacted, and then I'll normally catch up in my meetings with the team leaders and managers about how the guys have performed, how have they done under certain scenarios, and then obviously eventually I would have the conversations with them as well once I've been fed back that information.
So would you encourage your team leaders then to sort of have an open door policy, to be approachable, you'd encourage them to communicate what they're looking for?
100%, yeah. We say the message, like I try and get that message from me down to the managers, is we want people that are going to be accountable really and take something and kind of improve it, and that's you can apply that to any area of the operation and the business. That's just what we look for. People take accountability for what they're doing and want to improve things. That's simply what we do. And people that show that motivation and that hunger to want to do that is the people that get put forward to me, and then we look at, right, what can they do and try and improve it.
No.
And give them that opportunity.
Right, let's go on to the next one. How do you keep meetings from turning into could have been an email situation? We've all been there.
I think with meetings, even sometimes it can be an email. Like if you just want something done.
A lot of it can be an email. Most of it can be an email, can't it? Really. It
can. You can just cut to the chase and have an email. But it's nice to kind of debate things sometimes with your team. Like sometimes if you're in a rush, be like, guys, I need this doing. You'll send an email, but it's nice to actually sit down and have like the conversation with the team leaders or the managers to discuss, because they might have a little take on it. Because sometimes I think, well, I want to change this process, I want to write out, but sometimes I'm like, no, like I need to take a little bit more time, get everyone's opinion first, and then I might tweak what I want, and then that's it. It's all a team effort, isn't it?
Yeah, and like you can read the body language as well, can't you? In meetings, and we're not a massive company, so you've got to walk like 20 steps in the meeting room. So I guess, and actually for us as well, just to be all connected and be accessible. You know, we're not a massive company, and we're not dotted around all over the place, are we? In terms of offices and stuff. So we all work under the same roof.
That's it. It's nice to it's just on a social level. We're social beings.
Yeah.
It's nice just to have like a one-to-one.
We are social.
And I think as in my position as well, it's important to kind of just have that like one-to-one. Even if it's like once a week, just to be like, right guys, where are we at? Just to get an emotional feel for where we're at. So there's loads of emails go around, like I'll bounce around, but it's nice just to have that once a week with everyone, or sometimes it's more with other people, just to see where we're at with everything really. So yeah.
I guess like your role is quite integral to the business. So, and for you to allocate time to individuals as well, it's like might be that them being seen, them being heard, not just like over email or Teams.
Yeah, that's so true, and it's really true with say like Charlie and Paul for example. On a Wednesday, for example, without fail, I have a meeting with them at 11.
No.
To go over any errors, any problems with picking, packing, any problems with the operation. I think it's important that I give my time to them and their progression, so they can see, oh, Luke's taking the time out of his day to put that time aside for me. It's only like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to show that you want to show that you want to progress those people, and I think doing that by giving your time is a big tip basically.
That's so true as well. Like, it's to sit. I always think like. I always try and like build people up around me. So if people come in that are new, I actually like from a personal level, I like to grow. I like to kind of encourage greatness. Like ultimately, you want them to be better.
Yeah. I
just think, and then if anything, that's just a nod to you as well, or whoever's building it.
I like to think so, but I said I'm very regimented with it. I have my alarm set for the whole week at what times they are, so I never miss it. So if I'm really busy in something, unless it's obviously doing something directly for like James on a call with James, I will literally drop what I'm doing in my emails, even though I'm really busy. Sometimes it might be really annoying. I'm like, no, I need to stay regimented. I need to do that at that time because it's important that I sit down with that person.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah. Alright, yeah, you're killing it. What's next? Oh, we've already done this. We've done all the questions
already.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, you got rid of that other one.
Oh.
No,
I just had no answer. Wasn't it? You can. The people are going to wonder what it is, but I didn't have an answer for it. That's all. Maybe you might have something.
Well, all right. Here we go then. So, what's the funniest customer complaint or request you've ever received?
See, I literally couldn't think of anything for this.
But you do get. It does go to you sometimes, doesn't it? Because customer service.
Escalations come to me, but I wouldn't say it's anything funny. I would just say it's just normal stuff. So people wanting to return items that are way out the return bin.
Yeah, return. We get rid of the odd returns, and like for whatever reason, the customer's only finding out now. But I've got one where I was saying, but I'll say it again. I had it where we did a competition with an old customer of ours, and we did like a set, whoever could sell the most, and you had a month to sell the most. It was like at the time we were only doing tablet cases, and they didn't sell anything. I mean, they did. They got one order of 35 cases back in the day, early on. They got one order of 35 cases, and we sent them this Samsung tablet, and they complained that the tablet that we'd sent had been opened. I mean, it had been opened. I think it might have been like an X demo. So, it wasn't something brand new. Maybe we didn't put it as new, but we sent this tablet. And they'd actually sold on eBay. So they had to cancel the listing, which is pretty crazy and that order actually got returned in the end as well. So I'd say that was probably my craziest one. I'm just trying to think of any more.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I really can't think of anything funny.
We get a lot of end users contact us because maybe they'll follow it back to the branding on the case, and then we'll get a lot of the end users call us and be like, oh, we've had some issues with the product. So. And which, to be fair, we're actually happy to do, but I can't think none that's worth mentioning. Oh, we had a load of these. The rhinos. They come with a blue film.
Yeah.
On the. Yeah. So I don't know if you've seen it. You got to peel it away, and they were kicking off saying that the screens were blue. Oh. So and this is a great problem. Like you've almost got to be really careful with it, not to sound too smart. You should be like, there's a peel on it. You just got to peel it off and. Them just trying to protect their dignity. They're like, oh, Of course.
I knew that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so you do see it. But now I can't think of anything. I can't think anymore. Well, I don't think anything more from your side. I'm just trying to think now. I think that's it.
That's the question. That's quite long. How long are we at? What are we at?
We're at 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Nice.
I think that's a nice number.
Perfect. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Let's catch up Friday. Actually, we got Star of the Week. Why do I Star of the Week? That's going to be a live one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have we got anything? We don't want to do. Is there a raffle on there as well?
No, that was
not
last
this week.
Last week. Oh, I didn't do that.
Yeah, you missed the big
I missed
one.
it
Yeah.
on your own. How did you get on?
It's alright, yeah. It's okay, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looked good. It looked good. Okay, guys. Well, until then, we will see you next Friday. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.